It has been a game of runs. East St. Louis Lincoln made a 10-0 run in the last 4.5 minutes of the first quarter. Then Elgin came back, almost duplicated that, an 8-0 run to get back into the ball game. East St. Louis Lincoln will control. They have the lead by 6. This is Chris McKinney wearing number 23. McKinney is a scorer.
And he does so. And East St. Louis, or Elgin came back out in their man-to-man defense, and so no surprises at that end.
McKinney hit 21 in the super sectional as Martin, hampered by that bad knee, could muster only 3. They weren't really looking for him to score, so McKinney picked up the tempo in that department. Good defense. As Horton almost took it away, but they get it inside, and now the foul going to the free throw line will be Steve Patton.
East St. Louis's defensive approach this second half, Jim, they came out in kind of a little 1-2-2 and really spreading their wing people down to cover the baseline, holding the post people in.
First foul on Maurice Horton. Patton's been pretty good at the free throw line so far this day.
Make a comment about that, too, that they haven't been a great free throw shooting team except down the run, as you said, and of course right now they're shooting well from the line.
This one won't fall as Martin high for the rebound, kicks it out. The Tigers are on the run. McKinney's one-on-one. He's floating, and he is scoring. Great body control. Did his body move about a foot?
Great body control, and just run the floor very well. You know, really kick it out.
So East St. Louis Lincoln has scored 2 quick buckets here to open the second half, and they lead it.
Notice the 1-2-2, kind of an umbrella type coverage where the wings go down and cover the baseline, allowing the post people to stay in around the block.
Strasser with a bad pass, and now it's a 2-on-2 the other way. Horton leaves it for McKinney. He's going to try for glass, or is he? Too hard at any rate. And the other way comes Henderson, who has yet to fire one up here in the second half, and I'm sure he'd like to get his offense moving. Inside Strasser, too hard, tip controlled by Martin.
Elgin might be shooting the ball a little bit too quickly instead of getting into an offensive rhythm, Jim.
It looked like Nate Griffin might have a rebound that time for the Maroons, but he just couldn't control it. And as we've said time and time again, Martin has very strong hands. Inside, usually if his knee's not bad, he'll leave the floor a little bit higher, and that'll go down.
He's leaning into people right now, trying to give himself a little space offensively.
Kalina the other way and just can't get it to drop. Maroons could have used that one. We'll have a foul on the Tigers.
Very likely Coach Harrington may have told his guards at halftime to go ahead and penetrate right now into the seam of that zone, because the last 2 ball possessions, the guards have gone right up the lane right now and taken those shots.
Jim Harrington, who has won 101 games while losing 40 in his 5 years at Elgin. They did not call that a shooting foul. They said he was fouled on the way in, so Strasser and company work it around. Griffin, that's not his shot. He is not their shooter. McKinney's one-on-one again, and he lost it out of bounds. Oh, they said he touched it last.
I think the ball was hit by the Elgin ball player and then off of McKinney's knee out of bounds, so it will belong to Elgin.
McKinney has no beef with the call, and checking out now is Griffin, and I think primarily because Jim Harrington did not like that last shot he took. Checking in is Hankson. The other way, Kalina.
East St. Louis a token diamond in 1 press, just rather passive. Kalina took the ball right now to Martin and scored.
Kalina's one of those rare guards that the other way, it is Riley again. Stanford Riley's having a very, very good game.
Riley and Horton both are playing very well for East St. Louis Lincoln.
Well, Riley only steal again. Nice pass the other way. McKinney counted.
You know, Jim, ironically enough, when people talk about East St. Louis Lincoln returning, it was, do they have good enough guards to do so?
We'll talk some more about that, but first let us pause for these messages. The Tigers are in control. Put up 3 shots in this third quarter, and here's a turnover that cost him the last time down. Knocked away by Maurice Horton, who's going to spot McKinney.
Well, that's where the receiver is going away from the basketball instead of coming back to the pass and catching it. And of course, you get the quick steal by Horton and then a feed into McKinney on the baseline for a quick bucket. East St. Louis Lincoln has gotten some transition baskets in the early going this third quarter, Jim.
Martin still hampered with that bad knee, as we have alluded to earlier, but still able to clean off the glass to the tune of 8 rebounds. This is an important time for Elgin now.
Yeah.
They trail by 11.
Need to break a surge, don't they?
They were down by a similar margin in the second quarter and came back with an 8-0 run. Kalina has the basketball.
1-2-2 zone defense by East St. Louis Lincoln.
Bad pass, and it's headed the Tigers' way. They didn't need that.
No, they didn't. And in that zone defense, they're really trying to spread and cover the wings and cover the perimeter shot. And, of course, that may be the very reason why you've seen some penetration by Coach Harrington's guards.
The scoring story for the Tigers, that man, number 10, averaging just 9, but already with 12. He gives it up to Martin, who says it's too crowded in here. Let's get it back out to Horton. Rebound is controlled by Henderson, who's been very quiet here in the third quarter, but I think he'll start waking up. Yeah, he's double-teamed. Good defense by the Tigers. Henskin goes across the way. Strasser with a very needed 3.
Yeah, and Strasser's got that quick release. He can really load it quick, and they're going to need that to loosen things up here for them.
Now, we mentioned earlier they might have to go back to the 3, and when you get down by double digits, that's really when it comes into play. Artegas Williams playing with 3 fouls, number 33 with the basketball, posted low. Oh, no, it won't go. He's got it back. No, that's Martin, and that's good.
Artegas Williams needs to learn to use that glass in there, and he'd be a very effective ball player inside. Martin was the one to get the rebound bucket.
Elgin breaks the press. Strasser can't fire the 3 as Horton jumped out on him. Now he can, and he gets a second in a row, and his 4th of the ball game.
Well, you can't give a shooter an opportunity to gain confidence with that type of situation. 2 in a row, you're going to have a hand in his face next time.
Well, Strasser's field goal percentage overall is 38, and you say, well, that's terrible, but he's fired up so many 3-pointers that's the reason it's down. Riley can't get it. McKinney gets it blocked by Higginson, but he will go to the free throw line.
And you talk about 38% from the 3-point area in terms of point production, and you're talking about a 51% shooter.
Stanford Riley's playing with a lot of confidence, having hit a couple of early shots. He fires here. This is one of those rebounds that you can't really teach to block out because it bounds out so high, and that falls under the category of luck.
Real luck, the bounce of the ball.
And you see a lot of strange rebounds in this day and age because of the 3-pointer, because people are shooting from so far out.
Chris McKinney has the unique off the center of the free throw line shooting style.
He views life at an angle.
Not necessarily how you would want to teach it in a clinic.
He gets 1 of 2. Lincoln's lead is now back to 9. There you see a good view of that pressure defense. In the middle, Pat, nice shot, but there's Artegas Williams from behind with a block. It looked like a sure 2 for Elgin, but no. McKinney loses it out of bounds right to the official. That's what you call cooperating.
Yeah. You know, East St. Louis does put on this diamond-in-1 press, but, you know, when you got a Chris McKinney out there who's probably about 6'2" or so, it's certainly not as awesome as when it was a Conzo Martin out there, Jim.
The other way is Seveillon, who is in the ball game wearing number 20, and they lose the handle in the other end. The turnover, number 20, is Pet Seveillon, a 5'8", 140-pound junior for Jim Harrington's ball club.
Important note here, Artegas Williams has been able to play better than 4 minutes of this second half without picking up that 4th foul, and I'm sure that's a pleasant sight on that Lincoln bench.
There's no secret that the Tigers want a rematch with Chicago King because they played earlier this year. McKinney, 15-footer, too hot. Seveillon had it, lost it. And now Horton will pull back. That's going to be short. Rebound, you know who. McKinney, he's everywhere. Oh, that's a nice move.
McKinney's a strong ball player, just has a nose for the ball. He just where the ball is.
He also has a nose for the game because a lot of players would have brought that back out, but he felt Pat the other way, gets it blocked by Williams again. That's 2 blocks for Artegas Williams. McKinney 1-on-3, waits, finds Martin, who is tied up.
The Elgin's ball on the tie-up. Artegas Williams is doing an excellent job not only blocking some shots inside, but getting the rebound and getting a quick outlet pass. He's putting some pressure on Elgin to get back on defense.
What I wanted to say about McKinney is that a lot of players can't sense what's behind them. There were a crowd of defenders behind him, and then he made a move out, and they left, and he sensed that no one was there, and he went right back to the hoop. Nice cross-court pass to Patton, and he better get that one to fall, but can't. Boy, Elgin needs a bucket in the worst way, and they can't get it. Here comes McKinney and company. He'll take it down. Good defense at the other end by Strasser, and who wants this thing? Elgin finally controls in the form of Steve Patton. That was wild.
A little Sandlot there.
Down low they go. Griffin will get the 2 to fall. That's a good patient play.
And we talked about that. Maybe Elgin needs to post up and go inside just a little bit. Take advantage maybe of the foul situation with Williams is working with, and also Conzo's health situation, physical conditioning. He looks kind of pulling out, trying to milk a little bit of time here.
Griffin.
That's a good move, too.
I was about to say Griffin has 6, one above his season average. Martin double team, drops it back out. Horton forces it, not a good shot. Rebound comes down to Henderson. So Elgin can make it a 7-point ball game, or if you're counting that 3, add one more to it. Jeff Colina, I was about to say, as far as a guard. Ooh, Strasser! That's 3 3-pointers in the second half, and suddenly Elgin's back to within 6.
With a 3-point shooter like a Strasser, you're surprised you don't see more design plays such as that, Jim, where you get a double pick at the top of the key and get a 3-point shot.
Williams is double teamed along the baseline and gets it back out to Horton. There is exactly 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter.
East St. Louis might consider pulling it out a little bit, milking just a little bit of time, allowing Conzo to get his breath a little bit. Going into the fourth quarter with Williams not having his 4th foul, to pull it out here. They got a minute left.
Patton picks up his first foul of the ball game, 2nd team foul on the Maroons from Elgin. He'll check out. Elgin now 2 of 2 in this. I thought he had 3. I'll have to double check that. Out front, bad pass. That time Horton, or I should say Riley, tried to force things, and he paid for it. The other way, Henderson. Cross-court it goes, and now they'll set up the shot. This is Strasser, who's hit the 3s to get his team back into the ball game, and they'll play catch out front.
Oh, they're going to milk it down now and be happy to maybe hit that 3, or at least have an attempt for it at the end of the third quarter here. Certainly is a game of swings, is it not, Jim?
Well, Elgin trailed by 6 at the half and went down double digits here in the third quarter, but now it's back to 6, and with 10 seconds, they'll crank up the offense. A steal by Williams. Will he take it all the way? No, it's taken away by Strasser. 3 seconds. That's not a good shot. He could have taken it down court a little bit more, but I don't think he realized how much time was left.
Yeah, he threw the ball from a good 65 feet away with no chance for it to go in.
Benny Lewis is doing that famous call by John Wooden to Sven Nader. Don't dribble the ball. He wanted him to hold it up and give it to somebody. Baseball pass is taken away, and the third quarter will end rather harmlessly in the favor of that man. Benny Lewis leads it 47-41 over Elgin, and you see Williams getting an earful. Now this from one of your network sponsors, the Illinois Pork Producers. We are back at the Assembly Hall. Frank Bissoni along with Coach Mel Rustio of Jacksonville. I'm Jim Albrecht. Glad you're joining us on this spring-like Friday afternoon, where we are trying to get it down to 7 teams remaining for the 1989-90 state Class 2A championship. Everybody's favoring King, but every coach you talk to says the same thing. Well, favored is one thing, winning is another. They still got to win it.
Well, you got to do it here. One of the toughest things in sports is to do what everybody expects you to do.
Elgin just shooting 38% through 3 quarters, and it's cost him. Lincoln right up around the 45% mark.
Elgin is in that little trap-type defense, a little 1-3-1 matchup.
And Horton threw it away. That good defense caused the turnover. I think he thought maybe Martin or Williams was going to be there, but they were not there. And Colina brings it the other way. His team trails only by 6.
Defensive set that time confused the St. Louis Lincoln a little bit. There's a double pick again.
Anderson for 3. Short. His own rebound. In and out. And Martin clears it out of there. Big trip down the floor that time. Had they gotten that one to fall.
Defense changes again. They back to the straight man-to-man defense now.
Riley checks it out.
Lincoln's used to playing close games here. East Aurora last year, 2-pointer, then a 3-pointer against King, and then a 3-overtime 2-pointer against Peoria Central.
And an overtime game in the Super Sectional to get here this year with Marion. Martin, who's been quiet, doesn't stay that way.
He's a clutch ball player. When it comes down to crunch time, that's a guy you better have the ball in his hands. And East St. Louis Lincoln is looking at that situation now.
So the Tigers back up by 8. Colina gets a little move to operate, takes a scoop shot. If Martin takes home another rebound, he's in double figures as far as that's concerned.
He appears to be moving better now than he has at any time in the game, too. Maybe it's a knee situation that has to loosen up a little bit.
Foul underneath. They're going to give that one to Nate Griffin. Griffin now will have 3 on the afternoon. Martin with 12 rebounds and 11 points. He came in. If you look at these figures, you think possibly you should call the doctor and maybe get something for dizziness, because he came in averaging 25 points a game, shooting 71% from the field, 78% from the free throw line, 17 rebounds. Martin again, an offensive foul. It will not count. Whoa.
That's a tough call. You'll see him post and catch low right down here. After the inbound play, McKinney gets it down into him. A little defensive help, pressure there from the other side.
Patton was the man who helped out and drew the charge.
That's almost a no call, really, folks.
Henderson floating, can't get it. The ball tip. Griffin, it will not go in. How did that ball come out of there? I think only the gods of basketball can reject a shot like that. They just say no, and it doesn't go. McKinney, little drop dribble, and he is fouled on his way up.
Good move by Chris McKinney. He took the ball to the boards very strong that time. He had Williams posted up, and Williams allowed him a little lane, and he took it, and he's going to go to the line and see if he can get a little dividend here with it.
It looked like Henderson would get this ball to fall, but he got just a little bit too much. Then look at that thing.
Live rims, folks.
Remember those practice rims coaches used to use to make them shorter?
Maybe too much
I
air.
hated those. I did. I thought that was unjust and cruel. Unless, of course, you were rebounding. And your rebound drill.
And your coach told you that 2 of those basketballs will fit through that rim at the same time.
That's right. Optical illusion.
You made a basket about every spring.
Yeah, I did. At least one. McKinney's going to be short on that one, and now we've got a whistle, and I believe Elgin was in the lane too soon. Let's see what the call is. Yep, that's what the call is. Right. Those are the kinds of things that when you're a high school coach, you wake up on a July night at 2 in the morning and you don't know why, and then you see that.
Well, you just don't want those types of things to happen, you know. And, well, those are mistakes that shouldn't be made at this time of the season.
Jim Harrington hoping his club can put a little run together here and make a part of it. Yeah, he did it again, but this one goes down, so there will be no call. The Lincoln's lead is back up to 9. The last 2 trips down, Elgin has had good opportunities, but has not been able to convert. Kalina, he saw Martin there, he changed his mind.
Right. Great 3-point shooting ball club. The 9-point lead is nothing with 5 minutes to go.
Kalina is, nice pass to Patton, and he got that one down. Martin was there with the swipe, but couldn't get anything on the ball. Steve Patton now.
Back to the 1-3-1 kind of matchup here. They'll trap a little bit out of it.
Patton with 9. Tigers with a lead of 7. And the turnover. Here comes Kalina. Riley trying to dog him. They want it inside. Griffin will force it and won't get it. Ball tipped out front.
1-3-1 set has troubled East St. Louis Lincoln on more than one occasion, and yet they just short occasion. They're back to their man-to-man defense.
Elgin wanted the ball down in there. It was a good high percentage shot. And now East St. Louis Lincoln can afford to survey the situation, as it were. Good defensive effort by Nate Griffin, but all for naught because it will stay in the Tigers' possession.
Very difficult pass made by Horton down to Conzo Martin, and Griffin did knock the ball out of bounds. There's the trap action.
Double team, and he gave up his dribble, and he got away with it as McKinney came up to help out.
Back to the 1-3-1 matchup. Look, going to trap a little bit out of it.
And a trip out front, an inadvertent trip on Jeff Kalina. It's one of those calls you almost have to call it a foul, but in essence, nobody really did anything flagrant.
Right. You're either going to have to call a foul or traveling something, or let the ball keep going till somebody scrambles and you gets possession of it.
Or go and tell the coach the next time one of their players trips yours, we're not going to call anything either.
Something like that.
I guess you would define that as impeding progress.
Yeah. Free throw is up and good by Stanford Riley, who shoots 77% from the year. He is
the best. Stanford Riley has the obvious message on the back of his hairdo. We're back.
Yeah, they certainly are. And right now, trying to get into the semifinal round against either Chicago King or West Aurora. That would take place tomorrow morning. We'll give you all the times as we go along. Strasser was fouled on his way up by Maurice Horton. Strasser, they've really kept him quiet on that three-point. He has 4 for the game, but you get the feeling they'd like to shake him free for some more.
Strasser's the kind of youngster that Pearson needs just a little bit of time to load, and when he's forced to move with the ball a little bit, maybe it's a more difficult game for him. Great shooting stroke, though, with the basketball.
Benny Lewis. I think he shouts where Frank Bassoni shouts, you know? That guy can dress, I'm serious.
The two best dressed in the Assembly Hall.
Frank Bassoni and Benny Lewis.
He's here just as often as I am, too.
Free throw is up and good. Strasser. Strasser now on the day.
1-3 run. Going to trap a little bit out of it again.
16 points for Strasser as we total it up, and now they're just going to try to wear out these guards. Patton and Kalina are in the chase out front, trying to get somebody in a double team situation. 4 minutes remaining in this ball game.
Not a bad approach right now. It allows Conzo and Williams to suck it up just a little bit. They're doing the horse work on the boards for Lincoln.
Now a foul as they will send Conzo Martin to the free throw line. Martin also, you might say, hey, get out of the corner, but he's 6'6". He's got those long arms and he can get out of that kind of predicament.
He's not going to panic in that predicament either. Of course, both teams are in the bonus situation, so a lot of time left for free throw shooting.
It's the 1-on-1 situation. Martin tries to put his team up by 7, and he does. As long as I live, I'll never forget the strategy last year in the quarterfinal game with East Aurora and East St. Louis Lincoln. East kept hanging on to the ball for the last shot, and then with 6 seconds remaining, that man, Martin, made the steal, heaved it up court. Sharif Ford on the run with no time left, gets rid of it and hits it. Bad shot. Rebound fought for and won by Griffin, who's going to go up and get a much-needed bucket for Elgin. That was just sheer desire on Griffin.
That was his second effort, that's right. Elgin extending the pressure trap just a little bit.
Artegas Williams at the high point there for East St. Louis Lincoln. And as the tickets and the seconds get counted here at the Assembly Hall, the Tigers look like they might be in store for some more hardware. But as Coach Mel Rusfield points out, those three-pointers can come back and get you in a hurry. Elgin only 2 3-pointers away from tying.
McKinney's only a 53% foul shooter, and Elgin knows that.
Yeah, and McKinney doesn't have the ball too often either. Now he's got it at the middle.
And so does Williams. Artegas Williams, and that's a big, big jam.
That's a good call by Frank. East St. Louis Lincoln knows he's not a very good free throw shooter, and they had him at the block away from everything and had 4 other people delaying with the ball.
2:51 remaining. Tigers in front. Now this from one of your network sponsors, Country Company.
Well, we'd been ahead the entire ball game. Kalen made a rally. They got close to us. We had an out-of-bounds play on the sideline. Danny made eye contact with me. We had played together since the 3rd grade, so I knew he was going to break for the basket. I threw him the ball. He scored the basket. We went on to win the game.
Brent Browning, 1973 Class A MVP for Ridgeway, and his fellow Country Company's agents salute this week's players.
You know, we felt we weren't just playing for ourselves. We were playing for the entire southeastern Illinois.
With the lead and the spread, and East St. Louis Lincoln works it to perfection, Coach.
They're in the bonus situation. Elgin is in their 1-3-1 trapping defense, and they've spread the floor here. McKinney catches at the top of the circle, finds Artegas Williams driving the baseline for the slam dunk, and that's textbook operation, and they did it nicely.
Griffin had no choice but to step up and defense McKinney, and once he did that, Artegas Williams was free for his second slam bam of this contest. Everything's been pretty even, really, except for that first quarter. And you know that you look at that 14 for East St. Louis Lincoln, you got to remember Stanford Riley with the 55-footer at the buzzer. Otherwise, we might be just a little bit closer. Right now, though, East St. Louis Lincoln in command by 8. Elgin looking for those threes. Patton almost lost the handle and now does. Maurice Horton the other way, he'll slow it down.
And It may spread here. And of course, you know, when you do spread, the one place that the defensive coach doesn't want the ball to go is to the middle. You want to defend the middle. East St. Louis is content to spread. Elgin is more in a straight man-to-man double teaming.
As Frank duly noted, they do want to send McKinney to the free throw line, and that's where he's headed. He's hitting 44% on the year. That's rare for a player of his talent. But you look at Kalina, the guard for Elgin, and he's shooting 36% on the year from the free throw line. Some people just shoot better moving than they do standing still, you know.
The tip-off is when someone does something so unorthodox as McKinney does at the free throw line. He knows he struggles from there, and I guess continues to do so.
But in the clutch?
But not now.
It's probably one of those situations, if you're a coach such as Benny Lewis and you see McKinney struggling, you try about 4 or 5 or 6 different things, and when they all come up about the same percentage, you throw your hands up in the air and say, hey, just let the kid try and work his way out of it. And he gets both. Well, so much for percentages. The percentages did not play into the hands of Elgin that time, as they are down by 10. Henderson has been awful quiet. You know, he had 12 in the first half and hasn't gotten a bucket here in the second half.
Yeah, he's been shut down.
Underneath, shot not there. Strasser will go back up, and he'll hit that one. And we've got a timeout on the floor as Elgin wants to talk it over. They've got 2:09 remaining. They trail by 8. Now this from one of your network sponsors, True Value Hardware. Coming up next, it'll be the Chicago King Jaguars with Jamie Brandon and a freshman you have to see to believe, Rashad Griffith, 6'11", 240-pound, 15-year-old freshman, opposed by Wes Aurora. The Blackhawks counter with Mario Clark, the guard who averages 21 points a game, and Billy Taylor, the fine forward, who averages 18 a game. Gordon Kirkman and his crew will try to upset Chicago King. But right now, Elgin needs some points and needs them now.
Elgin's going to pressure full court now in the remaining 2 minutes.
East St. Louis Lincoln really winning the battle of the boards in this one by 11, and Martin fouled out front. Just on an inbounds play like that, you can tell that the Tigers have been here before. They calmly wait for somebody to break, and even that pass by Martin wasn't the greatest in the world, but he knew Horton was going to be there.
Well, there's so much to be said for that type of tournament experience, and again, all the statistics that everybody has and the teams supply you with, you can't measure the importance of tournament play that Townsend Martin and Chris McKinney have had in these Assembly Hall affairs.
Martin now with 14 points in the ball game. Elgin in a hurry. 2 minutes exactly remaining in this quarterfinal game. They trail it 58-49.
East St. Louis in a man-to-man defense here.
Look at Martin on Henderson. It seems like when Martin's on Henderson, the knee doesn't hurt as much. Oh, Martin with a rejection with a capital R. Man. I wonder how many college coaches don't want Cuonzo Martin. Probably be easier to count than the ones who do.
Very intense individual, very intense. And East St. Louis has come out of their 2-3 zone in the last minute and a half or so, and they've gone man-to-man and sticking with Elgin pretty well.
Once Martin was down inside, having done a good job of shutting off Henderson, he also said, hello, Mr. Strasser, how's it going today?
He came over to help out on Riley's man that had beat him on the baseline.
And the one thing that Martin does so well when he goes up for a block, much like an Akeem Olajuwon, is that he goes up straight. He never flails the arms, hardly ever, always in control. And that, you see a lot of silly fouls when people are trying to get blocks because, A, they're trying to knock it into the second row, so they can tell somebody later, but he blocks it and tips it around.
And he's got excellent timing. He has excellent timing on his jumping.
And he plays in the big games. 22 points, 8 rebounds in the semifinal last year against King is typical.
Now McKinney makes 1 of 2. Back to a 10-point ball game. Henderson got it. And a timeout for Elgin. Elgin got the three-pointer. It's down to a 7-point ball game. We're coming back, but first let us pause for these messages. Roadblocks. Here are the teams that tried to get in the way of the Tigers, and of course Marion almost did it. That ball game, 51-47, was an overtime final decision. As far as Elgin, they started by defeating DeKalb and going through Elgin, Larkin, and Jefferson and Guilford in a great game. And Henderson hit a shot with 6 seconds left to win it, and then defeating Sterling coming from behind to do so on Tuesday night in the Super Sectionals. That last three-pointer by Henderson, his first bucket of the second half. Now, basically, East St. Louis Lincoln just has to make free throws. If they can.
They're going to try to get the ball in the Conzo and McKinney's hand as much as they can from the standpoint of taking care of it.
Riley goes all the way down, and Gordon says, what do you say we back it up? Ooh, knocked away from behind. This will not be a backcourt violation. That's what you call experience. Just let it roll out of bounds. You know it's going to be your ball.
You know, he also has trouble bending over with that knee, if you notice.
Yeah, he does. But, you know, he knew that the guy wasn't going to get the ball, so he just let the seconds tick off the clock, let the ball roll out of bounds. Just a heady play on the part of Conzo.
Let's take a look at this three-point battle. Elgin has thrown up 13. Remember, they came in here having thrown up 428 three-point attempts this year.
It's an excellent percentage, Jim.
It really is. I just think that the inability to get those three-pointers off is costing them. They really haven't been able to shake Henderson free a lot here. Jim Harrington, who wants Chris McKinney fouled at all possible times here in the final minute and 2 seconds, sends him to the line again.
He was successful there the last 2 times.
McKinney trying for his 20th point of the ball game. Will not get it. Well, another 3, and we've got a 4-point ball game. But first, it has to find the net. Strasser, way off the mark. Rebound comes down to... Oh, it's taken away by Patton, and he can't get it to fall. Whoa, whoa. I was screened out here by the official. I could not see who had the ball underneath, but it looked like East St. Louis Lincoln had it. Then what happened?
Well, they call it, yeah, they call the push off there on Horton underneath. You can see it right here. You know, Williams, what he needs to do is gain control of the ball, not put it down, gain control of it, and then give it to one of the guards. On the missed shot by Patton, and you had the push off by Horton. You got Henderson at the line now.
Henderson shoots 64% on the year, but you can throw that out the window now because, as you can tell by the look on his face, percentages don't mean diddly, and that one is going to be costly for Elgin because Patton picked up the foul on the rebound attempt, and the other way we go again. Benny Lewis sweats out the final 45 seconds of this one. The happiest I ever saw that man was at the end of that Aurora East game last year because that was just about... Talk about taking it away from somebody. And I'm sure Mr. Lewis has had ample opportunities to be happy, but I saw him leave the floor that time. He was jumping. And at the free throw line, it's Williams. Not a bad free throw shooter for a big man.
Frank Bassoni, I wanted to ask you last year, and I didn't. Have you had any more exciting call in sports than that one?
I don't think there was one in high school competition.
Yeah, that championship game.
Oh, what a game.
3 overtimes. You know, some states have a law you can only go 3 overtimes. 42 seconds remaining in East St. Louis Lincoln. It looks like they will advance unless Elgin can hit 3 three-pointers in a hurry. Look at the defense by Martin into Patton. He gets it to fall. 30 seconds left. No timeouts remaining for Elgin. So all the Tigers have to do is stroll around in the offensive end of the court for a while. You know, the man-to-man defense called by Coach Lewis was a good one. To come out and put pressure on Elgin's great three-point shooters. Traditionally, a ball player likes to pack it in a 2-3 zone or 1-2-2. They came out, they played good man-to-man in the latter stages of this ball game, and that was a key move. West Aurora, Chicago King coming up next. If West Aurora does not pull off the upset, you will have at 11:15 tomorrow morning, King and East St. Louis Lincoln, just like last year. Free throw is good by Stanford Riley. And Riley's 14 points, very, very crucial in this game.
Solid guard play by the Tigers guards, Riley and Horton.
I have Riley for 14 here. We'll check it with the official score. Benny not real happy with that free throw.
They'll need a great effort if King prevails in their first game.
Henderson is on the line. That's only a 2-point attempt. Tip Patton, no. Strasser is there, and so is you-know-who, Mr. Conzo Martin. But they said he stepped on the end line. But it will not matter at this point. 6 seconds remaining. And Martin, maybe 60-70% with that knee, still managed to play a whale of a ball game. I think he's got about 14 rebounds.
Yeah, you might want to just get him out of the situation, too. Get him off the floor here.
So Elgin will send in their reserve. Scott Hudson, number 44, will come in. Nate Griffin will check out. Number 21, Roy Peters, will also check in. And number 12,
Todd Virgil.
I knew that. Todd Virgil will check in as well.
He was going for timing that time.
Inbound is taken away by McKinney. We've got some contact. And down the other way, Riley will throw it up and hit it, and that's the way this one will end. 64-54 is our final.
Well, regardless, they're in the trophy money.
They certainly are there again. And I have Riley for 16 points. He's one of the heroes of this ball game for the Tigers. We're coming back with this from one of your network sponsors first, the Illinois Pork Producers. St. Louis Lincoln moves on. Their record now 21-7. The Elgin Maroons bow out at 22-9. But as Jim Harrington said, Coach, before this game started, hey, we're not supposed to be here really, so let's have fun. And they gave a run. I think if the three-pointers had been more plentiful, at least as far as attempts were concerned, they might have been able to give them even more of a game. But the defensive job that Conzo Martin did on Henderson hit one bucket, and that was late here in the second half. One bucket in the second half only.
Two things that stood well for East St. Louis Lincoln in this afternoon's ball game. First of all was the play of their guards. Riley and Horton had turned in outstanding games, an outstanding game, each of them. And then, of course, the move going to the man-to-man defense late in the contest to push the three-point shooters out of their range a little bit was a key move from a coaching standpoint by Benny Lewis. East St. Louis Lincoln is going to have a better effort if it's going to be Chicago King tomorrow.
Well, this is a look at Stanford Riley, the little guard who came in averaging 9 points a game, and he'll flip this one up to make his total 16 on the afternoon. Is that a finger roll or what?
That's a finger roll. Little guys don't get that much.
That's a butter finger roll is what that is. That's a good shot and a good game by Stanford Riley again, who had 16 points and balanced the key for East St. Louis Lincoln. 4 starters in double figures. They only went to their bench when Artegus Williams got into early foul trouble in the second quarter, but he played the entire second half, and that was another key.
Did a nice job, and of course Conzo Martin's great leadership on the floor in key situations saw him through some tough times.
Well, we're going to come back, and we're going to have a halftime guest here, or in-between guest, with Mr. Art Kimball. But first, let us hear this message from the IHSA.